everybody. I am so happy to be here. Are you happy to be here? I cannot wait to hear what Senator Sanders has to say. So I'm going to play some tunes before he gets here, and please make yourself at home, grab some food, grab some drinks, and just enjoy yourselves on this beautiful Sunday. I want to make a quick announcement that for food reasons, your tables will be called one by one to get food. So don't all go get the food at once. There will be sort of an organized chaos to the food. So just know that you will be fed, and it will be, you'll know when to go get it. That was a good Jillian Welch tune. Song that I wrote. This is one called Summertime.
What do we do?
It's so good to be here. I played this event last year, and I love hearing what the senator has to say. And it's such a great space to gather, especially now. Gathering is the best thing to do. My name is Allison Faye. Thank you for asking. You never know. Some people are listening, some people are chatting, so you never know. This is a song by an artist named Feist. I don't know where she is anymore, but in the early aughts, she was really popular. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for coming out. Just please stay seated. We are going to start calling tables soon for food. So just pay attention. Folks will be coming around and letting you know when you can go up to get food. But for now, stay seated. Continue to listen to Allison Faye. Isn't she amazing? We're all very, very glad that you can be here today. Thanks so much for filling this room out, and we'll get started in a little bit here, but bring it back to Allison, and we'll get folks some food soon enough. Thank you.
Thank you so much, James. I think we'll do another original song. I lost the time today, somewhere on the corner of the church area, reflecting on the sadness and the sorrow. I lost the time. I lost the Thank you so much. That was an original song called Church and Main, written right down the corner downtown. I ran into an old fling, and so you gotta write a song about that. They say So nice of you. Thank you very much. I've been playing a lot of Gregory Alan Isaacoff. That was a Gregory Alan Isaacoff tune. He's coming to Burlington soon, so I've been playing a lot of his stuff lately.
Make me a poster of all
that song. Yeah. You can't go wrong with John Prine or Bonnie Raitt, depending on who you're covering. So being good. How can you not sing along to that one? It's such a good one. Looks like tables are being called. We're going through the rotation. Good. I'm going to sing a song that I wrote called Blessing in Disguise. I wrote it when I was going through a hard time financially, but I was able to get back on my feet. And this song is all about just like having self-worth, regardless of what your net worth is. Thanks, everybody. Thank you.
How's everybody doing? Hey, what we'll do, we're going to listen to a little bit more music. Some of the people will get their food, then we'll have a discussion. How's that? Okay.
Thank you so much, Senator. Another round for the Senator. We're so glad to be here with you. Now look, he's asked me to play a few more tunes, so I'm going to play a few more tunes. If you want to sing along, please do. We want to make sure everyone has their food. This one. You'll know it when you hear it, but I changed it around a little bit, so don't be too mad at me. Long as I remember, the rain still coming down. As a mystery boy, confusion on the ground. Through the ages, trying to find a sun. I mean, we all love a good CCR song.
Show up for me, and I'll show up for you. But how discussing it is making me doubt how those gentle conversations we got used to talking about. Honey, we've gone so good. Where the hell did you pull the plug? All the evening really was a little pretty long. I'm sorry you can lose. I know another before. But it's hard to give you my heart with a shadow. Maybe I was a little confused the way you go. Maybe I'm just not the kind that I should be looking for. I want a gentleman who's got the truth and feeling following patiently through every road. I want a gentleman who's got the truth and feeling following beside the queen of heaven. Your silence, I can say I'm surprised. Even although something different that would be trying to change your mind. I was the dozen, I wasn't the guy. I was the diamond who's shining on by. I am the diamond who's shining on by.
Thank you.
All right. Let me thank you all for coming out this afternoon. You know, we do this every year, and we do something around Christmas time as well. And we just want folks to come on, out, chat, have a meal, listen to some fine music, and talk about what's going on in our country today. And needless to say, there's a lot that's going on. So buckle up, we're going to be here for 5 hours. And then we can get into the real discussion. All right, let me, you have the misfortune of having elected the longest serving independent in the history of the United States Congress. And the reason I say misfortune is, like many of you, I look at the world in terms of what's happening and where we have to go a little bit differently than many of my colleagues in the Democratic and Republican parties. So I want to just give you a view of where I'm coming from, what we're trying to do, where I think we need to go. And the bottom line is, as all of you know, the country today faces very, very serious problems. That's the bad news. But I do want to tell you, if you feel a little bit overwhelmed, that throughout the history of this country, we have gone through very difficult times. This is not the first. And we have overcome adversity, and I have absolute confidence that if we stand together, we're going to do it again. All right, so let me give you the broad overview of where I think we are at. As some of you may know, I've been going around the country recently talking about oligarchy. Anybody know what oligarchy is? I'm told by some of my critics that nobody in America knows. We're all too dumb to know what oligarchy is. But what oligarchy is basically the country in which you are living today. And that is a very small number of incredibly wealthy people who have enormous amounts of money and have enormous amounts of power. Now, I wish I could tell you otherwise. That is the reality of today. What does that mean? It means that in terms of income and wealth inequality, who has what, we have more inequality today than we've ever had in the history of America. All right? 60% of Americans, including millions of seniors, are struggling to put food on the table and live a decent life. But on the other hand, you have 3 people who own more wealth than the bottom half of American society. In fact, one man, Mr. Musk, if you can believe it, one man alone owns more wealth than the bottom 52% of American households. Got it? So you're living in a country where the people on top have never, ever had it so good. And yet, for tens of millions of folks, including many seniors, people are struggling, all right? That's one reality. Now, it's not just that these guys who have money put their money under their mattress. They invest it. And one of the ways they have invested in it is in our political system. You all know what Citizens United Supreme Court decision is? All right, with that decision, which was one of the worst Supreme Court decisions ever, what it basically said is that billionaires could spend as much money as they wanted to elect or defeat any candidate that they chose. So what it meant in the last election, presidential election, one guy, Mr. Musk, who's worth some $400 billion, invested $270 million to elect Donald Trump president. $270 million. So he got rewarded for that investment by becoming the most powerful person in government for 3 or 4 months. So the lesson is, if any of you would like to become the most powerful person in government, all you have to do, no problem, is invest $270 million in the candidate of your choice. Got it? No problem. Take out your checkbook, write an account, and you too can be the most powerful person in government. But what it really means right now is that, give you an example. We'll talk about it later. I'm happy to answer your questions. Some of you know there was a piece of legislation passed last month called the Reconciliation Bill, or Trump's Big Beautiful Bill. That bill is the worst piece of legislation passed in the modern history of this country, all right? And if you think that a lot of Republicans who voted for that bill did not know how bad it was, you would be mistaken. There was one guy who I don't have much in common with, a senator from North Carolina named Mr. Tillis, and he said, he looked at the bill, he says, this bill's a disaster. It's going to throw hundreds of thousands of people in North Carolina off of their health care through cuts in Medicaid and the Affordable Care Act. He said, I can't vote for it. Within hours, Trump was putting stuff on social media denouncing this guy. The billionaires were saying, okay, you are finished. We're going to run a primary candidate against you. He's up for election. And within 24 hours, this guy said, I am out of here. I'm not running for re-election. So what you have is a system, and I want you to think about it. If you're a member of Congress, you're not dumb and you're not a terrible human being. But if you stand up and try to do the right thing, the next day, there will be billionaires saying, you know what? You know, you come from Oklahoma? Fine, we got $10 million running against you. We got a candidate, you're out of here. That is what is going on. That's called a corrupt political system, and it is why we have to overturn this disastrous Citizens United Supreme Court decision. Right now, without again going into a long discussion, we're making a little bit of progress. What I have demanded is that at least within the Democratic Party primaries, you get super PACs out of those primaries. And we're making some progress in that direction. All right, so you got a system now, people on top doing very well. They own a lot of the media. They own, to a significant degree, both political parties. What's going on economically for the average American? Let's talk about it. How's the system doing? You're living in the richest country in the history of the world, but most people don't know it because almost all the wealth goes to the people on top. Let's just look at the basic issues facing the American people. Let me start off with an issue we've been working on, teeny bit of success here in Vermont. Not enough. Healthcare. How's the healthcare system doing? Great? Okay. How many major countries are there around the world that do not guarantee health care to all people? Good. The smart group, one. In my view, health care is a human right, not a privilege. Now here's the story, and again, later on you'll ask me questions, and I'll try to answer them as best I can. You have a healthcare system in which we are spending today, who knows how much we are spending per person, add everything up, Medicare, Medicaid, VA, employer contribution, out-of-pocket costs. How much do we spend per person in America? Anyone know? Over $14,000 per person. Got it? Every man, woman, and child. A family of four. 14, 28, $56,000 for a family of four. That is an insane amount of money. And yet, despite spending all of that money, what all of the statistics and studies show is that our healthcare system is way, way behind other countries. All right, why is that? Well, for a start, you got 85 million people who are either uninsured or underinsured, and that number is going to zoom up as a result of Trump's legislation. It's go to 100 million. What happens when people are uninsured or underinsured? And you can't go to the doctor. You die. That's right. So you're living in a country where some 60,000 people every single year die because they can't afford to go to a doctor on time. I have talked to many doctors in Vermont and around the country who will tell you that patients walk into their office and they're really, really sick. And the doctor said, well, why didn't you come in 6 months ago when you first got your symptoms? You felt your symptoms. I said, well, I don't have any money. You know, I can't afford the copayment. I can't afford the deductible. Didn't come in the office. And in some cases, those people died, and they should not have died. All right? We pay the highest prices in the world for prescription drugs. Is that an issue? We try to make some progress on it under Biden. Maybe we'll see what happens. Pay the highest prices in the world for prescription drugs. Our life expectancy is lower than it is in other countries. And if you're working class in America, you live 7 years shorter lives than the people on top. All right? So the struggle is to do several things, in my view, and I'm kind of helping to lead the effort. Number one, I want to expand and improve Medicare. I don't want any more co-payments. And then I want Medicare to cover dental, vision, and hearing. And then what I want to do is when we get Medicare comprehensive to cover all basic health care needs. And on top of that, we got to deal with home health care. Is that an issue? And nursing homes, is that an issue? They're huge issues. All part of the service system, which is now in very poor shape. So we've got to get Medicare comprehensive, available to all, and then we've got to expand Medicare to cover every man, woman, and child in this country, so that we're doing what every other nation does. That means no matter if you're 110 years old or you're 2 years old, you're able to get to a doctor when you need to and not worry about the money. Now, some people say, well, Bernie, that sounds like a great idea. It's very expensive. It is. The difference is what we're doing now is very expensive, but the function of the healthcare system today is not to provide quality care to you. It's to make huge profits for the insurance companies and the drug companies. And the time is now to stand up to those really, really greedy people. And I deal with them all the time. I used to be the chairman of the committee, the ranking member of that committee. All right, so you got a healthcare system which is wildly expensive, not working. You got a tax system, just a piece of the paper the other day. Mr. Musk's space program, which receives huge amounts of money from the federal government. You'll be shocked to know how much his company pays in taxes, right? Less than you do. All right. So you got a rigged tax system, and if we change that, we can bring in a lot of revenue to do what we have to do. Okay? What about our housing system? Not doing great? No, it is not. We had a major housing crisis. We have it in Vermont. We have it all over this country. You got 800,000 Americans who are homeless. You got 20 million households who are spending 50% of their limited incomes on housing. How's that? When I was a kid, I grew up in Brooklyn, and we didn't have a lot of money. And we lived in what was called a rent-controlled apartment. That ring a bell to anybody? It was, and I did some calculation. My father never made any money. But it turns out we paid, I think, somewhere about 18% of the family income for housing. 18%. Do you know anybody who's paying 18% of their? I mean, there are people paying 50, 60, 70%. Okay. So we need to deal with housing, and we need to deal with senior housing as well. All right? We have some great senior housing in the area. We need to build more of it. All right, let me stop there and ask you, I want to get back to some other themes, but let's talk for a moment on healthcare. Let's get back to healthcare. What are some of the issues that you guys are dealing with in terms of healthcare? Having difficult time finding a doctor, is that an issue? Yes. Okay. Getting in for an appointment? Okay. Raise your hand and stand up if you could, please. I saw a comment over there. Dental is dental a huge issue? All right, let me give you, maybe, dear God, some good news on dental, all right? We were working with an institution of very nice people called, Katie, what is it, Mercy University? Detroit Mercy? Detroit Mercy University. All right, this is a Jesuit university in Detroit, which has a good, strong dental school. And working with the Vermont Dental Society and some of us, Senator Welch and I worked on this, they are, God willing, and I think they're making progress, hell yes, in opening up a facility here in, where are we, Colchester? Yes. In Colchester, which will do, this is what they're going to do. They want to know. It's kind of like a dental school that's going to be coming here, where they're going to have their residents, third or fourth year dental students, coming here. They'll be going out to community health centers, helping them, as well as having a practice right here in Chittenden County. And I'm talking about dozens and dozens of dentists. Right? Kelly, do you recall how many dentists do we think? All right, we're talking about dozens and dozens of new dentists coming into the area, which will be a significant step forward. Yes?
I would like to know why doctors have to pay so much to become doctors.
Oh, good question. Question is, why do doctors have to pay so much to go to medical school?
Right, and Canada's free.
Well. Matter of fact, funny that you asked that question. The question is, all right, look, don't get me going, because you really will be here for 5 hours. The system is not only broken, it is corrupt. And look, you would think, this gets to deeper issues, that we would have a system, now running a healthcare system, running a hospital is not easy stuff, believe me, it's not. But what should the goal of a rational healthcare system be? It should be to provide quality care, the best care that we can, right? To people at the least the cost for the society. That is not what our goal is now. So the question is, if one of you decide tomorrow that at the age of 70 you want to rethink your life and you want to go to medical school, you'd like to become a doctor in your 90s. You know how much it's going to cost you? Anyone have an idea? Yes. How'd you know that? You're a nurse? Yeah. That's what it costs. If you are a working class person, you don't come from a wealthy family, and you go to medical school, I met dozens of wonderful people who doing just that. You graduate medical school, some $500,000 in debt. All right, now, and by the way, Trump's bill, again, is going to make it even worse. But if you graduate school, say you're in your 30s or whatever it is when you end up starting to practice, and you're $500,000 in debt, you think you're going to move to rural Vermont to practice? You know, you're going to become a plastic surgeon or whatever, specialist you'll be to make the money to pay off your debt, which is one of the reasons we have a major primary care crisis, because primary care physicians earn less money than the specialists. Now, funny that you asked that question, literally. Congress is on recess right now. But when I get back, we have written the bill. You know what we're going to do? We're going to provide free tuition for all people who want to go to medical school and nursing school. Exactly right. How much does nursing, I talk to a lot of nurses. I mean, medical school's more expensive, dental school's very expensive. What do people graduating nursing school end up in debt?
I went to a state school, so about $70,000 for my bachelor's degree in nursing. I'm in graduate school for my nurse practitioner, and that is about $50,000 to $60,000.
So you can leave school with $120,000, $130,000 in debt.
Yes.
It's insane. It is insane because we desperately need more nurses. We desperately need more doctors. We desperately need more dentists. So we should be encouraging all of the young people in this country to go into those vitally important professions. And yet you say to some kid, yeah, you graduate medical school in 10 years or whatever, you could be $500,000 in debt. A young man or woman is going to say, thank you, no thank you. Nursing school, the same thing. All right, so just one indication of a very broken system. Yes, back there, man. Stand up, be loud. Yeah.
Is it true that private equity firms are buying up medical practices, nursing homes, and
Private equity firms are on the loose. They're buying up everything. They're buying up child care centers. Look, again, these guys have so much money, they don't know what to do with it. I'll tell you what else they're buying up. All right? When I was a kid, 20, 30 years ago, when we were young together, remember? And used to go to after-school programs. These are all public programs. Private equity is buying up. Some of you have grandchildren, right? I'm sure many of you do. And you talk to your kids. And I have 7 grandchildren, right? You talk to the kids, and all right, kids in a soccer program, kids in a basketball program, in a baseball program, Used to be that was free. Not anymore. It's a multi-billion-dollar business increasingly bought up by private equity to make money off of 13-year-old kids who are playing basketball. It never ends. That gets back to the root of what's going on here. They want to make money on every damn thing. And it is a very corrupting influence. Greed is the dominant force. So to answer your question, yeah, private equity is all over. Nursing homes. All right, let's talk about nursing homes. I'll tell you some stories. You want to hear some gruesome stories? Nah. All right. I'll make them less gruesome. One of the things that my office does, which I love, is every week or so, the word gets out because I'm, former chairman and ranking member of a committee that deals with health issues, deals with labor issues. So people all over the country know what we're doing, and they will call us up and say, look, Bernie, we got a problem, da-da-da-da. So we got in touch with some nursing homes, some in Vermont, some out of state. And let me tell you, nursing homes are struggling, and again, because of the massive cuts in this Trump bill, in terms of Medicaid, it is going to make a bad situation worse. All right, tell me about nursing homes. What experience do people have with nursing homes? Oh, let me hear. Just stand up. The other, stand up. Be loud. Yeah. Oh, got a mic right here.
Hi, thank you. My mother worked hard all her life. My father was in the Air Force for 20 years, so she has the veterans benefits. She has TRICARE for Life, Medicare, Medicaid. She saved and she worked through her savings, and so she's now in a nursing home. Her VA benefits and her Social Security are supplementing what Medicaid is paying. The monthly bill for for the nursing home in memory care is $14,000 a month.
A month.
Medicaid is paying about 11 or 12,000 of that a month. And so I know the big beautiful bill will start to go into effect in 26.
Yes, conveniently after the election, just by coincidence.
Right.
Yeah.
And I noticed online that in North Carolina, their state Medicaid is already reducing their reimbursement for nursing homes by 10%.
Right.
And that's not including what the bill. Now, I know Medicaid only reimburses, what, 70 cents on a dollar? So the nursing homes can't afford to have so many beds, but it's insane.
Okay. Look, I wish I could tell you it was insane. This insane sounds like it's irrational. It's not. They know what they're doing. It's worse than being insane. It is calculated. All right? There's a war. It really bought me. What is your name, by the way?
Robin Hewitt.
All right, Robin, your mother worked her whole life. Your dad was in the military. All right. It's not just her family. All of our families. People work their whole lives. They defend us in war. They help build the economy. You don't turn your backs on the generation that helped create, what America is. You don't do that. That's not a human thing. You don't do that to the children. All right? You respect people, kids, elderly people. What you're describing is the nursing home is what, over $120,000 a year per person? Yeah. They are going to cut back on Medicaid. You're quite right. It'll hit every state in the country. I don't know how the Vermont state government's going to deal with it. And you're starting from a situation where nursing homes are already in difficult states. Very often they are understaffed. All right, who wants to talk about nursing homes? Stay on nursing homes again. Yeah, gentlemen over there. Can we get you a mic? Haley's coming.
Just a thank you for being my top mentor along with Noam Chomsky since I was as young as I can remember, since September of '78. It's been 30 and Noam, along with Jesus Christ. I get to introduce him.
All right,
but,
nursing homes.
But in any case, my mother, my ex-wife's mom, spent 3 months in a Medicare facility, which is better than Medicaid facilities. And after that 3 months, she made me promise her that if she ever got to where I couldn't take care of her, that I would kill her, because she said it was so bad. And I said, what? And I know what it was. She had bowel issues. And she said, they never get to us. She said, if they come once a day, it's a surprise. Meaning that she's sitting in her excrement all day long. It's sad. That's what's happening.
It's disgraceful.
Not a Medicaid facility.
All right, it is, and the answer is, before Trump's cuts, they are understaffed and overwhelmed. All right, I'd say a few more. We don't talk. I did an event a couple of weeks ago with some very fine people who are heads of major nursing home organizations talking just about these issues. But I want to hear a little bit more about experience of people in this room. Just a few more. Yes, ma'am. We got a mic coming to you.
Yes,
right there.
I know nurses, not myself, but I know nurses that work in nursing homes, and there is one nurse to 40 patients, 50 patients in nursing homes. The only thing they have time to do is to give medications. They don't have time to chart. They don't have time to see their patients if there's anything wrong with them. They don't have time. This is only going to get worse with the Medicaid and cuts.
It just gets me furious even hearing about these. I mean, this is what I'm dealing with. I see it, we know about it, but hearing that somebody says, kill me, rather than allow me to live like that is in the richest country in the history of the world. And I want to back up and tell you again something that most politicians and media don't talk about. And that is what the system tries to do is to get you to accept stuff like that as normal. It is not normal. It is not normal that one guy is worth $400 billion and seniors who have worked their entire lives are living in their excrement in a nursing home. That's not normal. And we've got to not allow that to happen. All right, other questions? Well, I see a hand over there. Ma'am? Yep.
To go back to medical, went to the dentist the other day to have my teeth cleaned. And the dentist came in and he said, I'm going to clean your teeth today. And I said, why? He said, well, my hygienist left to go live in Alabama. And he said, with the kids graduating in June, I figured I'd hire a new hygienist. But what happened is now they have to go to school 4 years instead of 2. So he's not able to hire a hygienist. What changed? Wasn't 2 years good enough? It has been for years. Why did they change it to 4 years?
I don't know about that, but sometimes we ran into a similar problem in terms of childcare, where people trying to do the right thing, they say, okay, I want people who work with children to have a master's degree. Sounds great, right? I want hygienists to have 4 years. Sounds great. But in the real world, that's not the way it works, right? So your point is, well, I don't know if that was a Vermont regulation, but I do know that there is a serious shortage of dental hygienists. That's a major problem. Okay, stay on healthcare. We go someplace else in a minute. Woman right there.
Yeah, I had a question about community health centers.
Yeah.
A lot of us get our care at community health centers, and what is this big, beautiful bill going to do to that? And what do we do looking for health care in Vermont?
All right, what we're trying to do, I've worked very hard, as you may know, to build up the community health center network in Vermont. And now, I think per capita, we're leading the country. About 1/3 of all Vermonters get their care in one of 67 locations around the state. And we have worked, I will not bore you to tell you how hard we have worked trying to expand funding for community health centers. Good news is, and here we go. She is working on this with me. Down in Brattleboro Wyndham County remained the only area in the state that did not have a community health center. I think we are very, very close within weeks of getting one started down there as well. But there's no question, like nursing homes, community health centers are very dependent on Medicaid. A lot of their clients, patients on Medicaid. Cut back on Medicaid, it's going to put more pressure on community health centers who are feeling it already. Now, one of the things, if I can detour, one of the many irrationalities of our current system is that we spend about half as much. Now, remember, we're spending twice as much per person on health care. We're spending only half as much as other countries on primary health care, all right? We don't have enough primary care doctors, we don't have enough primary care nurses, etc. The reason that primary care is so important and why other countries invest in primary care is you save money if you can detect an illness right away rather than waiting till somebody needs a $100,000 surgery, all right? So that's why community health centers are so important. I want to expand them. We're working hard on that, but this bill is a setback. All right, any place, say on healthcare, yes ma'am, or any place else you want to go?
I'm worried about the environment
Yep.
for our children. We have grandchildren, and the environment is in a rough shape.
Look, I don't want to get us all very depressed. And again, I think, I think there are things evolve, and I am working really hard on these things. But every scientist who has studied the issue of climate, virtually everyone, acknowledges climate change is real. Climate change is caused by carbon emissions and human activities. All right, let me give you an example of how insane. All right, so you got a president who believes that climate change is a hoax. Meanwhile, last week in this city, we are breathing particulates coming from wildfires in Canada, right? The air was pretty bad. And California, same thing. Heat waves in Europe, drought in various parts of the country. You've all seen North Carolina and elsewhere. I was in Asheville, North Carolina, not so long ago. I think they lost 90 people in North Carolina. Terrible flooding, et cetera, et cetera. So we have had our own here in Vermont. God knows we have had the last 2 years terrible floods which have destroyed a lot of property. You have in Trump somebody who counter to what virtually every scientist understands is trying to increase fossil fuel production and literally make it harder for us to move to sustainable energy. And there's an issue we're dealing with literally right this moment, which infuriates me. We passed, my bill, a bill called Solar for All. $7 billion nationally, $63 million for the state of Vermont. What does it do? It says that if you are low income or working class, and you want to get solar on your rooftop so that A, you can cut carbon emissions, B, I've got solar. You know what our electric bill is now, James, and my electric bill is now compared to what it was? Who wants to guess? No, it's not zero. It's about 10-15% of what we used to pay. All right, it's a huge reduction. So both environmentally and in terms of your pocketbook, it makes eminent sense. The goal should be to put solar on every rooftop that we can. All right. Anyhow, this bill would have helped, I think, 900,000 Americans. Trump's people illegally, just last week, killed it. Now we're in court, we'll be in court, and I think we stand a chance to get it resurrected. But it will mean that for thousands of people in Vermont, if we are successful, they will have either community solar or solar on their rooftops, cut carbon emissions, save 80-90% on their electric bill. Imagine anybody in their right mind trying to cut that program, creates jobs. That's the world that we are living in right now. So you have a right reason to be fearful. Climate is a very serious issue. Yes, sir.
Yes, I'd like to know, I would like to know, because I think we all agree on almost everything, but are the Democrats doing anything? Are they grooming someone?
funny you should ask that question. The answer is yes and no. The answer is, as somebody who took on the Democratic establishment, as many of you know, on 2 occasions. And I do want you to know that as a result of the work that I and others have been doing around the country, you don't know this, the media doesn't report it, but there are a lot of very, very good, young, working class fighters in the United States Congress. Not so much in the Senate, but in Congress. Many of you are familiar with Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. But she's only one. Maybe we'll bring Alexandria to Vermont. She loves Vermont. She was here a couple of years. But she's only one. There are a lot of very, very good young people who are fighting the fights in their own states. In fact, at the end of this week, I'm going to be going to the Midwest. There's a young woman named Becca Cook in rural Wisconsin, very much like Vermont. And it's a, Wisconsin like Vermont, it's a dairy state like Vermont. They're losing dairy farms. She grew up on a dairy farm. So we're going to be doing what we can to get her elected to Congress. The great people in Illinois is a friend of mine. In Michigan is a doctor, as a matter of fact, who's fighting for Medicare for all. So we are doing our best with some success to build a strong progressive movement. What Democrats, what politics is about is not complicated. It is, which side are you on? You can't be on the side of wealthy campaign contributors and be on the side of working people and people who are struggling. You can't. You gotta make a choice. So we are trying to build that movement. We have our ups and our downs, but we are making some progress, and I am working very hard on it. I will tell you, a few months ago, maybe 3 or 4 months ago, we sent out an email, and we have millions of people on our email list. We said, look, we desperately need people to run for local, state, federal office. We got 7,000 people who right now are in the process of learning how to run for office. So it's hard. And within the Democratic works of great people, there are some people who not so great, to say the least. Okay, gentleman right there, sir. Get the mic.
Thank you, Bernie, for what you do, for the voice that you bring to the country. My name is Ron. I have 2 or 3 concerns that I'd like you to comment on. Let me give you a quick background.
Ron, a lot of people, just ask me your questions quickly.
Okay, I'm a Canadian. I'm a former broadcast journalist. I'm a retired college professor, university professor of mass media and broadcasting. I have concerns about what's happening to Social Security, what's happening to PBS, and what's happening to our veterans.
Okay, got it. All right. Social Security, here's the story. Elon Musk and a lot of these other billionaires, there is never enough for them. And I mean this sincerely. For the vast, I'll tell you a story, if I can. This always resonates. I get around this state a lot, and we pay a lot of attention to the needs of veterans, and I'm on the Veterans Committee and all that. And very often when I talk to a veteran, I go up and I say, listen, did you know that you're eligible for this or that program? There are a lot of programs out there, and we don't do a good enough job making veterans aware of what is available to them. And you know what I hear as often as not? You know what I hear? And this is maybe peculiar to Vermont, maybe not. People say, this is true. People don't have a lot of money, this is veteran getting by. He said, well, Bernie, I know that, but you know what? I think there are others who need it more than I do. You ever heard that? No, this is a program designed to help veterans. Right? It's not welfare, this is a program. And people say, well, somebody else may need it more. I mean, it's a generosity of heart that's concerned about other people. These guys on top are exactly the opposite. They want it all. All right. So if you notice correctly, let me talk about Social Security. When Trump gave his State of the Union speech, which was very painful, I was there. I really was. Just, right there. He went on for 10, 15 minutes. I don't know if you all remember this. It's planted in my brain. He said, it is Social Security. There are people who are 150 years of age getting Social Security. We think are 290 years of age, they're getting it. 300 years. In other words, why was he going through this whole series of absolute lies? And by the way, a week later, the guy who he nominated, the head of the Social Security Administration, I asked him, anybody here? Oh, by the way, Trump said all these people are getting, what percentage of people are getting checks who should not be getting them? He said, well, it's less than 1%. Well over 99% of people get their checks are, paid into the system. Why did he do that? What these guys want to do, getting back to your question about private equity, they want it all. They don't believe in the concept of government. They want to make money on every single thing that you do. So Musk, at the same time as Trump was lying about all the fraud in Social Security, Musk says he said two things. Social Security is a Ponzi scheme. Meanwhile, Social Security, by the way, celebrating its 90th anniversary this week, is an incredible success story. Before Social Security, half of elderly people lived in poverty. Today, the number is too high, it's 10%. And think about this, in a crazy world where you can't get on the phone to talk to somebody who you think did you wrong, Social Security has paid out every benefit owed to every eligible American in bad times, in good times, for 90 years. Pretty good record. So essentially, what I'm telling you here, long term, not tomorrow, politically not ready to do it right now because they know there'd be an uproar. They would like to privatize, in my view, the VA. That's Social Security, VA also. That's their goal. They can make money out of it, get you to invest in Wall Street, so forth and so on. Number one. Number two, what they in fact are doing is they have laid off some 7,000 Social Security Administration employees at a time when the Social Security Administration was already underemployed. If you ask my staff in Burlington, they will tell you that one of the major calls they get, I can't get through to the Social Security office. Is that a problem people are having? Tell me, anyone have that problem or not? All right, some people are having it. People with disabilities as well. So you need more, you need to make the system more efficient. When you get on the phone, you should talk to a human being, not a machine. All right? They're moving it the other direction. So they're laying off people, closing down field offices, essentially trying to make Social Security a system where people feel less good about it so that the day will come, not tomorrow, where they want to privatize it. Now, let me tell you what my view is. My view is, and you got other guys there, Republicans, who are talking about cutting back on Social Security benefits, okay? And they will tell you, oh my goodness, in the next X number of years, Social Security is going to become insolvent. Not true. There's a lot of lying that goes out there, all right? So what you got now is a Social Security trust fund. Social Security is funded by paychecks every single day. So you got a trust fund, which if we don't do something about, will become insolvent, meaning that, well, we don't get 80% of our benefits, but we're not going to let it become insolvent. How do you deal with Social Security so that we can do two things? Number one is another fact that I learned recently. Do you know what percentage of elderly people in this country live on $15,000 a year or less? 22%. I hope I don't, maybe there are people in this room who are trying to get by on that. Half of elderly people are trying to get by on $30,000 a year. Now, how do you even do that? So the idea that some people are talking about cutting Social Security is totally disgraceful. But this is what, in my view, we've got to do, and it's a very popular idea. Right now, if somebody makes $10 million a year, somebody makes $176,000, who pays more into the Social Security trust fund? No, you pay exactly the same. That's the cap. If you lift that cap, and you say that wealthy people have got to contribute more, we can do two things. We can significantly expand Social Security benefits, which is what I want to do. And you can extend the solvency of Social Security for decades to come. All right? So the struggle that is going on here is there are those people on top who want to make money off of the elderly and Social Security. They would like to privatize it. They would like to cut back on benefits. There are those of us who think it's a strong program. We want to make it stronger. We want to increase benefits. We want to increase the years of solvency. All right, I see a question way back there.
Senator, I have one back here. If you back here, Senator, over here.
Okay, yeah.
I got one right here.
Okay.
Thank you, Bernie, for everything you do for us. We really appreciate it. I want to ask you about RFK Jr. What can Congress do, or what Congress is doing? To be honest with you, I'm concerned about having a flu shot this winter with all of his antics going on. And I worry about children and vaccines. I worry about seniors and vaccines. And just wondered, what can Congress do?
Well, Congress can do a lot. The question is, what will Congress do? We had Kennedy before our committee. That's the committee that has oversight of Health and Human Services. And he lies a lot. He lies a lot. You know, to suggest, I mean, and by the way, in this one, the guy who's now chairman of the committee is a guy from Louisiana, who's a doctor. And he's caught, I don't want to get into his politics, but he understands the importance of vaccines. And in a sense, he's begging Kennedy not to do what he is doing. But these guys, probably for the bottom line, for money as well, are undermining a lot of science. We're working with the scientific community, with the doctors, to make sure that the kids get vaccines. It's a very, very difficult issue, but you should be concerned. Okay, I see a hand way in the back there.
Hello, my name is PJ Pollard, and I work for U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services, and I'm also a local steward for American Federation of Government Employees, Local 2076. Thank you. Yeah, typically there's lots of support for people and unions in the state of Vermont. Recently, about 10 days ago, we received notification from our agency that they were unilaterally breaking our contract. And not just ours, it's happening to agencies all across, you know, the government. And I'm just curious about, you know, what kind of support there is for us in Congress right now.
It is, everybody understands. What's your first name, ma'am? First name? PJ. PJ said. You are dealing with an administration who happens not to believe in the rule of law, not to believe in the Constitution, and that lies all the time. I try not to be terribly partisan. I really do. You know, just, yeah, everybody knows my view on it. But what Trump is trying to do now is unprecedented in American history in many, many respects. So he is usurping. I mentioned to you the solar for all bill. That money was voted by Congress, appropriated by Congress, signed by the previous president of the United States. It is the law. That money must be appropriate, go out to the communities. Trump doesn't care about that, okay? You have, in this case, federal unions. AFG is one of them, and you have the National Treasurer's NTU as well. These people are workers who happen to work for the federal government. Having a union is a constitutional right, all right? Unilaterally, they decided to disband these union contracts and break unions. So you're asking, what are we doing about it? There's a real partisan divide. I don't know you'll have a handful of Republicans who will object to this. I think the vast majority of Democrats will be pro-union on this issue. But this is one more example. I mean, there are a dozen examples of a president not obeying the law. And we're going to do our best to hold them accountable, which is why, by the way, this 2026 election is so important. All right? We can turn a lot of this around if we can at least get Republican control away from the House of Representatives. So don't run around the country trying to do this. All right. You got a hand right there? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a veteran, and I called a program for dental work. And the gentleman that I talked to told me that he is trying to work with the community health programs to help veterans that don't get dental plans to get dental work done.
Good.
Second question, subsidized housing in the state of Vermont. I've been told that it's been frozen. They're not giving out vouchers for subsidized housing, and I make like $13,000 a month. And most of that is my SSI and my VA pension. Okay? I pay $1,005 a month for my rent. People talk about just getting by on income. Well, I struggle. I go to the food banks because I have to, not because I want to, because I have to. I mean, if I don't eat, and I also got a dog, and I get food from the shelves for
Nothing
my
to
dog.
be, look, you should not be ashamed. Our society should be ashamed to put you in that position. Look, I mean, on all of these questions, Trump is the exception, but it goes even beyond Trump. Trump didn't invent all of these problems. As a nation, we have got to get our priorities right, and our priorities are that senior citizens, it is not a radical idea that seniors should be able to retire in dignity, in decent housing, go to a decent nursing home if you have to do that, get the health care you need. This is not a radical idea. So we are taking on now, I mean, this is a pivotal moment. We're working hard on this, but we're taking on them all to try to create a government maybe that works for all of us, not just Mr. Musk and his friends. All right, maybe one more question. Yes, over there. Whoop.
Hello, I'm Charlie, and can you comment on how much better things were in the 1980s? I know in Manhattan.
Now that is an interesting question.
It was college and nursing home.
All right. Charlie, what's your name, Charlie? Yes. Charlie asked an interesting question. Very profound question. No, it really is. I want you to think about it for a moment. Right now, we're living in 2025. Most everybody has a cell phone. Some people have cable television with 800 separate channels. You got Ubers out the door there. You know, all kinds of things that didn't exist 50 years ago. There was a poll done by a group called the Pew Family Foundation or something. They're reputable people. You know what they did? They asked a question, really an interesting question. They said, tell me, do you think people living 50 years ago, like you know, in your background, were living better than you are today? And you know what the answer was? Quite overwhelmingly, yes. I did the same thing. I don't know if some of you filled it out. You know, we do the Bernie Buzz. Anybody here ever see the Bernie Buzz? Okay. We did that through the Bernie Buzz. We got a huge response. Thousands and thousands of people. Again, the same type, I can't remember what it is, maybe 65% said things were better back then than they are right now. Why is that? Why? Think about it for a moment. There are things that exist today that are very helpful. This thing is helpful, didn't exist then. Computers are helpful, didn't exist then. When I was mayor of Burlington, I walked into City Hall, there were no computers back then. All right, why were things, by and large, or at least people perceive them to be better then than now? Yes? Ma'am? Right here, stand up.
I wasn't going to answer your question. I want to talk about Amazon in Essex because we beat them the first round. I reached out to your office and didn't get even an answer back.
What?
Fighting the oligarchs at the local level.
You're right. All right, I'm sorry you didn't get an answer back. I support what you're doing. Okay, I want to say on that question, it's an important question. Because, by the way, all of you are familiar with the advances in artificial intelligence and robotics, right? If some people get their way, the folks that will be serving you meals 10 years from now are not going to be human beings. You got that? They will be robots. They're already robots in restaurants and so forth and so on. Why do you think life back then may have been better than it is now? Yes, ma'am, stand up.
I think we have better communication systems, like what's in your pocket, but we actually communicate less with each other. It's the lack of community that we have.
The woman says we have better communication systems, but in fact, at a human level, we communicate less. Sir?
We had more training programs.
More training programs?
We had programs for everything, and that's what happened. We could go to school, we could do everything else. Everything was simple back then because everything was programs.
Yes, I agree. Let me get the people who haven't asked the, yes, ma'am. Income, well, here's another fact. I mean, I want to go on and on. When we talk about the economy, real inflation accounted for wages for workers has not gone up in 50 years. People on top of making it all. All right, look, I think I agree with one of the reasons we do these things, and we're doing them all over the state. The other things we do is we have basketball programs, we bring our kids, we give out free basketballs to kids, and they do foul shooting contests. We do walks. We did a beautiful walk in Morrisville last month. We had about 600 people coming out. Did one in Stowe a couple of years ago. We're trying to do these things precisely to develop a sense of community. Because you know what? This is what I think. I'm not a psychiatrist. I'm not a psychologist. But at the end of the day, all we got is each other. Now, we may not be much. We may not be perfect. We may have our problems, right? Everybody does. That's all we got. And a robot ain't gonna make it any better. All right? I don't want a robot serving me breakfast. All right? I really don't. And so what your point is, we have got to try to develop our sense of community, support each other, appreciate each other, and in these difficult times, do the best that we can. Now, let me conclude the way I began. These are difficult times. You're dealing with a president that doesn't respect the Constitution or the rule of law. We have had difficult times before. Everybody in this room knows it. All right? I believe in the bottom of my heart that if we stand together, and what demagogues always try to do, by the way, what do they try to do? They try to divide people up. Anyway, you're black, you're white, you're Latino, you're gay, you were born someplace else. Let me divide you up, and then the rich get richer. If we don't let them do that, we're going to win this thing. Thank you all very much. If people would like to do, a few people have asked me they'd like to do a selfie or something. If people want to do it, we'll do it out there in the hallway. Okay? Thanks.
Thanks so much for coming, everybody. We really appreciate you being here. If you want to take a photo with the senator, it's going to be out in the hallway, past the tables, right by where you checked in. We'll have staff help you. Just have your camera ready. We're going to be using your cameras for those photos. Thank you very much. Have a great afternoon.